Hello everybody, this is Kurt with the Naked Kurt Experience, and I'm back playing some Diablo 3. It's been kind of a binge for the past couple days, I know, but it's just because I've been having a lot of fun building out new characters and stuff, and people seem to enjoy it a lot. I said that in the last one, but still, it's the same answer. As you can see, Natalya's. I finally got Natalya's parts. And let's see, I'll check the profile with that character. It took me a little bit of more time, so I would say a little bit less than this because, like I say, I usually let it idle for a while when I'm like doing other stuff like eating or whatever. Um, so in this case, though, I mean the Italian stuff I got, obviously, as you can tell, it's not the most put together. Like it's pretty thrown together actually. I haven't gotten everything I need out of it. I haven't gotten the best stuff out of it, of course, and I still can't get a Ramalani's gift to save my life. So like I still don't have any sockets for any of the weapons, so my damage is pretty piss poor, and as you can tell with that, and I have a focus that's terrible too. I don't have the restraint yet, so my damage isn't there. And then also, if anybody's curious, the reason why I'm using the Pauldrons of the Skeleton King, there's other choices you can use. If you just look up the Natalia's build, the majority of players that have the top rank are using this exact kind of setup, except for maybe like a different amulet, maybe different bracers like strong arms probably, or in like better pauldrons of the Skeleton King, even profane pauldrons work. But that, for the most part, this is the core of the build. And I could just show you real quick in a normal rift how this works. Why did I shift click? I'm just used to doing that, I guess. And there's really not much like special things I'm going to be doing today in terms of this recording. I just wanted to show you guys the difference in Natalya's as compared to when I was using the other Unhallowed Essence build. As you can tell, the damage comparatively between the two builds is existentially different. Ooh, I'm getting rubber banding again. They got me killed. You'll see though, like for sure, you'll see the massive difference in terms of damage output to this one. Like it takes a lot of learning. It's a massive learning curve to be able to use this build effectively as compared to the other one. The other one's just literally point and click, point and click, point and click. Well, this one you have to use 2 attacks literally in rotation back and forth, and then your third one is whenever it's on cooldown you use, because you want to keep your damage up. And I'll explain that in just a minute when I get to the next floor. Like right before I go to the next floor, I'll explain what I mean. But I basically want to show you first, this is the damage output you can expect. I haven't really been paying attention to the actual numbers, but I know that I get around 500 million crits. If they're long enough distance away, I can get 8 to 900 million. Ooh. Die. Oh, no legendaries? Okay. So I'm just going to go ahead and... And, okay, good. There's still some stuff, a little bit left. I'm not really too worried about using the con. It's just a normal rift. I mean, it's not like I need to use this. It's not like I need it for damage or anything. I do more damage with my attacks. Okay, there we go. So, yeah, there was a 738 million crit right there, if you saw that. I want to see if I can get really good ones on camera. I know I've hit a billion once or twice with really, really good high-end damage, but... Okay, so this is basically how it works. You use your strafe. In this case, I'm using Drifting Shadow. You don't have to use Drifting Shadow. You could use the Fire Rune. I forgot the name of the Fire Rune. You could use Rocket Storm, so you get more weapon damage as fire. In my case, I'd rather have the movement speed because I'd rather clear things faster. It is a little bit slower of a build than, say, the Monk's Dashing Strike build. That's ridiculously fast by comparison, but you essentially have to have strafe set up where you're always using it. So in my case, I have it on left click, so when there's nothing around, I'm moving, as you can see. If I hold down shift, which I usually do, then I'm channeling strafe. The good thing about channeling strafe the whole time is that, it costs a very little amount of hatred, but you can still move while you attack. For the most part, like if you use other things other than strafe, say like if you wanted to use your rapid fire, You could because the channeling is there, but you can't move while it's working. So like it doesn't work as well, in my opinion. A lot of other people agree. A lot of people use this kind of setup, exactly what I have set up down here. But I've played with a lot of different options, and this is my favorite by far. The other thing is the way that everything is set up down here, as you can see, this is the most optimal way for it to work for me because when I'm holding left click down and shift, if I'm using 4, or in my case it's R technically, for some reason, as you can see, watch, I can't get it to work. You can hear me clicking it. For some reason, there's some weird thing going on. I'm not sure if it's the game or if it's my keyboard. I don't think it's the keyboard because it doesn't happen in other games, where I cannot use R at all while I'm holding shift and left clicking for some reason. Well, but as you can see, I mean, obviously the skill's not ready, but I'm holding shift and spamming R now. It works fine. There's some sort of command issue in the actual game for Diablo that won't allow me to hold left click down for some reason, shift and R. So evasive fire is now on 3, or E in my case. So when I'm moving around, you have to periodically tap your evasive fire. It's not really because you get a damage boost out of it that much that's really worthwhile, but you do get, as you can see, your hatred doesn't go down as fast. In this case, if you spammed it fast enough, as you can see, like this, you could kind of maintain it to a optimal level where it won't go down at all. That's the reason why you need to use it, is because you need to make sure that you can maintain your hatred the entire time that you're channeling your strafe. Otherwise, you won't be able to strafe the entire time. In this case, too, the reason why I have Reaper Reps is because then I can go ahead and do this and then use strafe a little bit less often. As you can see, there's no orbs to pick up, so my hatred does go down slowly. But then if I pick up an orb, it'll automatically go back up. The other good thing, though, is that because I have Bat Companion with... Companion, obviously. If I say, like, I'm just going around do and I forget about it, I'm like, oh crap, I'm really low on hatred, then I can go boom and I can get it way back up again and maintain. Last but not least, there's Smokescreen with displacement. In that case, you would use that for mostly Jailer. If you get stuck behind a lot of Waller and stuff and you can't get out of the Waller and they're doing a lot of area of effect damage, like, Desecrate and all that stuff, then you can use this to move out of the way. But the major reason why I'm using this is because of the movement speed. I use this, and as you can see, when you're using strafe, they allow you to to utilize your displacement while you're strafing, which is fantastic. I can use that to move across a large area while maintaining my stacks here down for the Taiguk. You can maintain stacks that way very easily. Like, oh, there's nothing going on here? Well, I can strafe down this way while moving really fast. So that's the major reason for that. And then obviously you have preparation and invigoration in case you're really low on your discipline. So like you've been spamming the crap out of this. You do that, you get it all back. Done and done. Actually, I need to change that skill. I have this on the wrong skill still. You don't want invigoration. Well, you can use whatever you want. In this case, I get maximum discipline by 15. You can use invigoration, but the other one you can also use, I can't remember the name of the rune, but instead you restore 45 discipline over time instead of an instant 30. In that case, it's, I think, a lot better of a choice just because you get more discipline. You get 15 more discipline, and it's not that long of a cooldown for it. So 15 seconds instead of immediately. I would prefer to do that. I forgot to change that before. My bad. Last but not least, the passes that I'm using. Tactical advantage, obviously. What's really cool about that is every time I use smokescreen, so if I'm stuck and I'm like, oh crap, there's nobody around here, I use smokescreen. Then after that procs, as you can see, ready, I'm going really fast, I'm moving really fast, and then I slow down. So I get that little bit of extra speed for free, essentially. I mean, you can swap this out for any of the other options. Right now I'm using it for that because I'm not going to really high rifts yet because I'm still too weak in terms of my own toughness and health and stuff. So I'm using that just for the movement for now. I'm going to switch that out later when I get better toughness and I can survive better. Next I'm doing Ambush. The reason why is because Rain of Vengeance with Stampede does so much damage in one go that this actually gets me a massive damage boost at that high of a level, because usually a lot of the things I hit, the very first hit they get is a Stampede, and they're usually above 75% health even if I'm channeling strafe into them. So that's really good damage for me. Next, Call of the Week, slowed or chilled enemies. The reason why is because anything that gets near me, obviously I'm doing less damage because I have on Zystone of Vengeance. The reason why I have this on is because I still get that damage boost if things are near me because I have a Bane of the Trapped. They get slowed and chilled, or they get slowed and anything. then I hit him with a Stampede, I still get 20% damage buff. Even if my Zystone of Vengeance isn't proccing, I still get some sort of damage boost for things up close. Last but not least, awareness, because I get killed a lot. You've seen it proc already once or twice, I believe. So, with that all ado, I just wanted to bring that up. Anything I usually don't do. Oh, here's a build video, you know, but I figured that like I was actually pretty amazed. The reading the notes on this build and anything that I saw, I didn't really think this would be a very good build at all. It seemed like it'd be too difficult to manage the movement on it, but actually it's a very comfortable movement when you get the keys proper for you. So for me, I had to swap around some of the keys multiple times until I got the way I wanted it to be, and this is the way I want it to be. It feels really comfortable. You get trucks worth of damage, like 500 million, 600 million, 800 million, and then for things like elite packs like this, if you strafe away from them and kind of kite them a little bit, you can still maintain a little bit of extra damage from Zystone of Vengeance. That's the reason why I go away from them. While for most of the trash mobs, I don't really worry about it because they mostly get killed in one shot anyway. But as you can see, they're like, boom, everything one shot from that. And then there's nothing here, so I can move a little bit quicker. And then maintain my movement through this. The last but not least thing I forgot to explain too, whenever you're moving around and using Strafe with Stampede, or not with Stampede, with Reign of Vengeance, if you can see down there, every time I'm shooting something with my Strafe, then I get the cooldown to go down for the... Jeez, I can't think today. Reign of Vengeance. I get the cooldown to go down quicker. So the reason why I want to do this is, as you can see, there's a little proc that, or a little buff that shows up right here, where I get increased damage and reduced damage. The more that you get that cooldown to go, and the more you spam Reign of Vengeance, you keep that proc up. You keep that damage boost up. You keep that damage reduction up. So if I can maintain spamming the Reign of Vengeance over and over again every 3 or 4 feet, as it looks like I'm doing, I can maintain that attack, and I get a damage buff for my next attacks. So like I'm getting a nice hefty damage boost every time I use my Reign of Vengeance. So it's really good that you maintain that damage. It's really good that you maintain that proc, because if you can maintain that as long as possible while still moving, then you never really slow down during a rift. You can maintain this, like, you know, damaging like a truck through the entire rift as such. Nothing can really stop you unless if you get fatal damage. So in my case, that's the reason why I'm actually really happy that I have a Countess Julius cameo. The reason why is because, I mean, it's not an optimal Countess Julius. I get attack speed on there instead of crit chance, but that's okay. The reason why is because now that I'm getting to use that, anytime that there's a jailer that happens, I actually don't get murdered by it, and I can actually move unhindered through Arcane and actually retain health that way. There could be other ones you use that are better. Particularly the fire build would be just as good. Oh, another potion, hooray. Oh, power pylon. That'll be overkill for the friggin' Rift Guardian. Alright, sweet. Let's go kill him. So, as you can see, too, this is also very good single target damage, as you can see here. I have Power Pylon on, of course, but it probably would have taken only two Reign of Vengeances on him to probably murder him in one go. Oh, a Cinder Coat. That probably won't be bad, actually. So, as you can see, stumbling words aside, just because, like, I don't know, I've been sick for, like, over a week, and I can't get healthy, I guess. So, my brain's a little scattered right now. But as you can see, though, just talking through this build, it's actually very viable. More than I thought so. I mean, of course, you watch people play it, and you look at it and you're like, yeah, that does a lot of damage and stuff, but, like, I don't know if that's really fun or not, blah, blah, blah. Then you wind up going down the road and you try out different options, and you look through everything. You find out that, in reality, it's the only way to go if you're trying to ladder climb like I've been climbing. The reason why is because it's unparalleled in damage. Any other build I've tried so far as a Demon Hunter, save for the old sentry build, doesn't compare in damage. I think that you could probably do sentries, and it'd probably still be comparable. It could be good, but this is the build to go if you want to go the highest greater ifs you can. As you can see, like I just have a bunch of stuff I need to get rid of, but I do have all the Marauder stuff ready to go. I do even have a crappy Tasker and Theo that's ready to go as well that I just need to get at least some crit damage on there. It's not optimal, but it's okay. It'll work. I mean, just to try it out. I even have a Meticulous Bolts if I wanted to do Elemental Arrow. The only thing I don't have is a Crider Shot and a Rucksack, the Bombardier's Rucksack. So I'm still waiting for those. So when I get the Bombardier's Rucksack, I don't need the Crider Shot to try it out. But if I can get a Bombardier's Rucksack, I can try that build out and then see if it is better or not. Excuse me. I couldn't mute my mic in time. But we'll do a double whammy right now. This might be a little bit longer of a video, but it's still fun. I'll go ahead and do a Greater Rift, probably around the 25 to 30 range, just because I don't have the materials still to do high levels with this yet. I get killed so easily. But I'm not sure what gem I could switch out to get more survivability, because I have a Molten Molten Wildebeest Skizzard. I have that ready to go. I also have the, what is it called? I don't remember. The one that gives you non-physical damage reduction. So we'll have to see. But as you can see, I'm already on a wave 30 on this, so that's already going to get me up to like a wave 30, or a wave 20 something. 34 should get me up to 30 almost, which might be a little bit high for my character. I might get killed pretty easily in it, but we'll see. We'll see. I just thought I'd do a double whammy, though. I would do a rift, explain what I was doing in the build, which I normally don't do, even though, you know, it seems more intuitive to do that instead of just saying, well, you know, just get this stuff put together and do it. 31. That might be a little bit high for this character because of the amount of damage I'm going to take. So, instead of Zystone of Vengeance, even though I get an increased damage... Oh, chance to stun, I forgot. That gives me armor. 15 yards by 30%. So I might have to get rid of Bane of the Trapped for now, because I'd rather have something like Esoteric Alteration, that's what it's called, or a Molten Wildebeest Skizzard. Neither of them... Oh, that one, I mean. Neither of them are leveled up higher than 25 or 26, because my monk has those. He's claimed them. But I have a feeling if I use... No, you know what? I'm going to try without it. If I die a lot, I die a lot. Whatever, you know? That's the other thing, being something like a Demon Hunter who is very squishy to begin with. As a build, he's always been squishy for the higher level builds. Let's see if we can maintain the ability to stay away from stuff. As you can see there was a proc for 884 million damage, just because things are kept at a distance. If you keep enemies at a pretty good distance, that's where the majority of your damage can come from. So that's what I'm trying to do, is I'm trying to maintain a massive amount of distance between me and an enemy. Oh, that'll do a lot of damage. Go away. Also, the farther you stay away from elite packs, the better you can do in terms of survivability as well. And as you can see, not too bad. They didn't drop any... Oh, he died way over here? Okay. So, just like with the monk, when I was showing you a while ago with my monk and everything, before he got really, really good, for higher levels... Greater Rifts, when I was doing the 38, when I couldn't do over that, I think my highest now is a 39. You just need to maintain, if you have, obviously, not the survivability, but you have the damage output to go the higher levels, the best way to ensure that you can do it is just to make sure that you stay as far away from massive piles as possible. You get to the front lines and you just kill slowly but methodically. Because I kill so quickly, killing every single pack, trash, elite, or otherwise, isn't that bad in terms of your time. It means you'll survive it. So for the most part, if you wanted to do greater rifts at really high levels and you wanted to like beat your old times and get really high up there, when you get higher up in like the 40s and 50s, the better way to play it, it seems to me, even though I can't still beat 40. I can beat like a two-player. I can beat 42 Great Rift, I believe, even higher than that. But Nick's survivability isn't very good, so we sometimes get stonewalled depending on the enemies because he dies a lot. But for the most part, though, the higher the level, it seems, the better you'll do if you're killing mostly elite packs, and then just the white trash mobs would be cannon fodder while you're killing the elites. They'll just be killed by proximity. Oops, he moved on me. That's the way that it seems to me to work the best. So, like, if you're doing it like this, like I'm doing, where you have to kill the majority of trash mobs just to make sure that you maintain your life, then you get a slower time. But because it's so low already, only 31, it's pretty easy. And things like this, like Conduit on a greater 31, actually does damage still because my main weapon has so much damage, and this is based off your weapon damage, that it actually is worthwhile. A Conduit on Greater Rift like 39 or 40 is, in my opinion, kind of worthless due to the fact that it just your weapon damage after that cap and anything, it still means that you're just having to go and kill everything with your main attacks. The good news, though, with a Conduit at like 40 or higher is that you do get an extra per second damage off your weapon. So, I mean, it's a good additional amount of damage. It's a good complement, but it's not the end-all be-all. But levels like this, like a greater of 30 or lower, it is literally a killer. So it's actually really helpful at lower levels. Let's hope that that's a speed boost or a channeling boost. Channeling's good. So now with channeling, I just can avoid doing evasive fire altogether, and I can just spam right click while holding left click and shift. As you can tell, channeling, no matter what build you have, except for intelligence, I'm sure intelligence is actually even better, but I don't have intelligence builds, but for any strength or dexterity build, as you can tell, strength or dexterity builds thrive off of a channeling pylon. If you get a channeling pylon, say like if you get a channeling pylon on one of the highest rifts, greater rifts you've ever gone, if you can save that pylon for the boss, for the actual boss of the rift, I would say do it. And by the way, as you can tell, okay, power pylon's not bad. I might die here. I got cornered up and I got in trouble because they have Waller. So as you can see, like I was saying, use the smoke screen to get around stuff. Maintain your life. That's the major thing here. A lot of people think it's strange, but oh jeez, I'm getting a little bit distracted because I didn't want to die. A lot of people think it's strange to try to survive most of all, but survival in a Greater Rift is actually the major time saver over anything else you can do. Even if you're not killing things very fast, eventually you'll kill them. By comparison, if you die more than twice in a rift, that's already 10 seconds lost. Because the very first time you die, you have a very, very small, like 1 or 2 second window before you can spawn again, where you're not doing DPS. The second time you die, it's 5 seconds, plus the little like second or two before you can click, go. So in reality, you're losing almost 10 seconds if you die only twice during a rift. You die more than twice, you keep dying, that just goes exponentially up in terms of time that you waste. So if you keep dying over and over again, you're done. Like, you've lost a lot of time in the rift. The only way you can make it up is if you're killing elite packs in literally 2 shots. It takes like less than 10 seconds. Because I've beaten rifts before when I've had 30-second cooldown, before I can spawn again. It's just my time was so far up and I got one elite pack that kept killing me over and over again that I couldn't kill them. But if you just keep dying repetitively over and over again to every elite pack you have, you're pretty much not going to beat that. You're not going to beat that Greater Rift. As you can tell, too, another good beneficial amulet you could use would be the one for lightning. A lightning one would be very good, too, because you get a lot of damage to you from lightning. As you can tell, too, a Bane of the Trapped, or not Bane of the Trapped, Zaya's Stone of Vengeance, that stun ability that comes with it procs more often than you think, even though it's only a 20% chance. It sometimes saves your life, especially with a Rift Guardian like this, where he's going to stalk you, and if you can maintain distance from him, that little bit of stun that you can sometimes proc off of him actually saves your life. I'm going to have to move in a little bit. But as you can tell, though, compared to the Monk, the damage is pretty comparable on a single target. This can be a lot more, depending on if you get really high rolls on your crit damage and chance. As you can see, if I get really good ones, I can do almost a quarter of his health in one shot. If I can maintain a maximum distance away from him, if I can maintain my stack up, if I can maintain my Reign of Vengeance damage with the buff that I get from it, the temporary buff. If I can maintain all that at once and continue to maintain it during the fight, as well as stay away from him, you can kill him rather quickly, as you can see. And he should be dead. Boom. So let's see. I got Bojanglers and the Guardians, or the Gladiator Gauntlets. So there we go. I just beat another Greater Rift over 30 with my second character. Obviously, I need to keep working on it to go higher, but now I'm not really sure what I could level up. I mean, it'd probably be the best just to keep trying to level this up. You know, it's a 60% chance. I mean, why not? I really don't need to succeed these. This was just to prove a concept and show that, you know, even at a lower level still, non-optimal stuff. I don't even have Calamity. When I get a Calamity, it'll be ridiculously powerful. Then as well. Oops. It's a proof of concept that you don't need to be grounded in terms of what you can do in this game, just because you don't have Paragon 700. I mean, I'm up to 400 now, so that argument's becoming moot. Just because I already have 2 Paragon point slots maxed out on all 4 of my different categories. So I understand that. Obviously, I'm higher level than I used to be, so it's becoming a moot point when I'm arguing anymore. But what I'm saying is that suboptimal gear doesn't mean that you can't do greater of 30s and get some of your gems upgraded. It just takes that ability to take your time to grind. Because once I get a Calamity and replace this really good Balefire caster, oddly enough, that Calamity will really up my damage. And then, of course, I still don't have my Restraint. Even if I get a crappy Restraint, I'll replace Natalya's Reflection. I don't need Natalya's Reflection because I'm using your Slayer, so I actually have all the pieces when I don't need all the pieces. It's just because I have that ring and I don't have the focus ring. So I might actually start rolling for rings just to see if I get lucky, which I don't. But you know, you just have to keep working on it. I have sub 40 hours on this character, and I already have a build that can do greater than 30 or more. That's the way to do it, though. You got to keep working on it, and you get it eventually. But for the most part, though, sorry that this was a little bit longer, and I know that sometimes people don't enjoy when people talk about their builds and take their time, but I thought maybe that's the reason. Maybe I did a good medium between the two where I did the Rift and then explained it while I was in the middle of the Rift and then showed the proof of concept after that too. So you could see in between and then show that I could do a Greater Rift and even beat my old time with this character while not having to worry about it. So, as you can tell, 26 hours like I was showing. My Monk has less than 100 hours and he's already doing, he could probably do a Greater Rift 40 by now. I still don't have all the gear for him either. I don't have a better in-gum. I don't have a better secondary for him. So that'll do it for you, though. I mean, just as soon as you get those parts and you get near perfect rolls, you can do higher rifts. That's my point. Thanks, guys, for watching. And hopefully in the next one we can maybe show off some team play or something if Nick can actually get around to recording with me today. We'll see with him. Thanks, everybody, and I'll see you in the next one.